Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As you can see, hopefully you guys all agree with Cass here. Been waiting all week to get rock hard. So have we. It's good to be back. We had some, technical difficulties. Not really even technical, I guess, physical difficulties. We just couldn't get into the building where our studio's at.
They banned me.
Yeah, we got temporarily banned, I guess. But we are back, better than ever. So excited to be here for episode 6 now of Rock Hard Ball. Get a lot of good stuff on the docket today. Obviously, it's been quite a while since we have been here. It was, I think, last Monday was our last episode, June 3rd. So a good 10 days since we've been live here. But again, good to be back. And today we are going to be talking NBA Finals. Got some NBA and NFL news, just kind of some general stuff to go over and talk about. We're going to do our full AFC predictions. If you missed our NFC ones, we did those ones back on the 3rd, that Monday. So go back, check those out. Excuse me if you haven't. And then, of course, we're going to finish up today's episode with today's edition of Rock Hard Takes. So that's what we got on the docket for today. Before we get into all that, though, shout out here to former Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez. He was named the UFL MVP, the inaugural MVP of the UFL. So big time news there for Nebraska, getting a guy out there with an MVP. Big time news. I wrote an article about it on the College Football Dogs website, collegefootballdogs.com. If you want to go check it out, go give that a read as well. But yeah, shout out Adrian Martinez. Had a really good season there for the Birmingham Stallions. Howie says, can we give my mom a birthday shout out? Happy birthday, Howie's mom. Congrats. Yeah, happy birthday. All right. That's about all I can say there. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Anyways, let's get into it. NBA Finals, first thing on the docket.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about game 1 right away.
Yeah.
Game 4 coming up soon. So,
yes. And if you have been completely brain dead to how the NBA Finals has been going, it's been all Celtics and nothing but Celtics. The Mavs have really struggled a lot in this series. They have had the first game was a blowout, and then last night was close, and then game 2 was kind of close. But it's been just Celtics all over the place. So Weez, you can take the lead on this one. What have you seen so far in the series?
Mavs just can't compete if they're going to be that bad defensively. I don't know if you're watching, but by far probably the worst help side defense I've probably ever watched. I don't know your thoughts. Obviously, Luka sucked. Kyrie sucked game 1 and 2 back in Boston. They treat him like shit. Expected that a little bit. Yeah, I flipped my opinion again, and I look like a dumbass for it.
Yeah. We both look pretty stupid. The Mavs looked really good in the conference finals, and they looked good all playoffs, so we both took them to win the finals. We thought it was going to be a deep series. Now it looks like the Celtics probably just going to sweep them.
Yeah, and now we start questioning, is Luka too fat?
Yeah, maybe he is. Speaking of Luka and how poorly his defensive effort has been, let's go take a look at our friend Brian Windhorst. Shout out. Let's go see what he had to say about Luka's performance here in the finals, specifically in Game 3.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, "You better bleeping challenge it," as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable, and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer, somebody will get to him, because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
Brian Windhorst.
Tough love.
Yeah, he's right, I think. Luka obviously is ridiculous for the Mavs on the offensive end. Cass said, "How'd you guys land windy for the show?" Unfortunately, we didn't pull that clip off Twitter. So please don't sue us. We credit where credit is due. That was from Scott Van Pelt Sports Center. But yeah, Brian Windhorst on there. And he was pretty hard on Luka there, and he's probably right. It was piss poor effort on the defensive end.
He's a traffic cone.
So yeah,
he can't move. And like obviously we all know how good he is, but like he puts up 35 a game. But we're seeing how bad he is defensively. Like, is he still a top 3 player in the league? With how bad he is defensively?
I still think he is because he's, I think, the best offense player in the league. But
yeah.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that it definitely is shown
playing
more
4
now.
on 5.
Huh?
How many times did he try to flop, make a stupid call, and then knock it up quick points? That team's too good for that. Also, just the goddamn lackadaisical double teams that he would try to pull. It's like, oh, Derek White just hit another 3.
Yeah, that one clip of him just kind of like running like a slow circle on defense.
You can't do that against a team like that.
Yeah, pretty bad look there. So yeah, the Mavs. I mean, obviously the series is over. They're not going to come back from 3-0. It's never been done. This isn't the team to do it, especially against the Celtics roster for how deep it is. Get to a couple comments here. Jordan Schaefbauer says, Carter, it was my birthday on the 23rd of May. Happy birthday, Jordy. Shout out. I know we're a few weeks past, but you know what, Jordy, I gave you a good birthday gift on my graduation by letting you come out. So shout out there. Howie, this kind of stuff won't be tolerated. The worst backside D being the 2014 Pirates. 2014 Pirates is actually a district champs. So let's pipe down on that. And then Mick said, "Aren't you guys who picked Mavs in 7?" Yeah, we are the guys who picked Mavs in 7.
I just said I'm a dumbass. I think first episode I said Boston probably just cleans up the entire bracket. And then I go back on my word because they played good the first series. I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, we both did. We just continuously talked ourselves out of Boston because like the Pacers gave them some games and they didn't play a healthy team.
Yeah, Tyrese went down, Brunson went down. Yeah,
it does though help that like Kristaps Porzingis turned into God when he came back.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. Game 1, Kristaps, he was super efficient. Looked like borderline unstoppable.
Yeah, it's like
weird.
Jason Tatum has not been good this series. Like I get he's distributing the ball well, but he's not been good. He's not been efficient, and they're still up 3-0.
Yeah, so I mean, we said it the whole time. The Celtics roster is so well built that it's like it doesn't even really matter. It's I don't know. I thought maybe the Mavs could just outscore them, but
obviously Celtics are going to clean up, bearing a miracle. Who wins Finals MVP?
I think it's Jaylen Brown, right?
I think so too.
Yeah,
but like there is still maybe that argument for Tatum.
I don't think so. I think he was way too bad in the first couple games.
Yeah, we're also 1 game away from him recreating every Kobe picture of all time. So get ready for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun. This one's for you. So, all right, that's probably about all the NBA Finals talk we have for right now. We'll see. I guess what happens. Maybe the Mavs can steal 1. I guess I wouldn't be super shocked if they somehow picked up a game 4.
I think
little gentleman sweep, but I think it's grave. You never know. Maybe Luka comes out and scores like 50 after all the hate he's getting. Yeah, gives up 65. All right, good point. But yeah, I guess we'll just see and watch and see how this one plays out. Mick says next year, get a psychologist on before the finals to help overcome recency bias.
I don't believe in that.
Not the worst idea. We did probably buy some recency bias. Not great.
Who doesn't?
Nick, honest take on the Seahawks. You go check out our episode from last week. We talked about them. I don't remember what exactly I had them as, but mid. Yeah, the definition of mid. I think Gino regresses, but yeah, we're not kind of moved past that this week. But yeah, that's my thought. Moving forward, NBA news just in general. First things first, we were going to talk about this when it was a little bit more relevant when we were originally supposed to do this episode back on whatever that was, the 6th, last Thursday. The Jazz released new uniforms. They're super sick. If you haven't seen these yet,
I think the white ones are the best in the league. I think the white uniforms are.
Yeah, those white ones are awesome. Yeah, those look super. I mean, all of them look really good. I think even the purple ones are very cool. The black one definitely has more of that kind of modern feel, but I really like how they meshed like the kind of the modern look with still like the kind of classic Jazz.
Every team these days just kill creativity.
Yeah,
like how many basketball logos do we have these days?
I don't know.
Too many.
Yeah,
too many.
Got a little hostility in the chat tonight. I like it. Let's get rock hard, boys. Let's get after it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Wow, just shut up. Anyways, back to NBA news. That was the Jazz jerseys again. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on those, but just want to throw those out there. Those are pretty cool. Let's talk about the late saga we had over like just the amount of news that's flying around about that. So first of all, they it seemed like they hired JJ Redick for like 12 hours.
Yeah, he was for one day. He was their head coach.
Yeah, JJ Redick, and then obviously he has the pod with LeBron, so that just fueled that fire. People thought it was going to come for a while. Everybody was kind of speculating on that, anyways. And then obviously to be some real news about it, And then
Yeah, like it was being finalized.
yeah, and then all of a sudden it just completely blew up into smithereens. Dan Hurley was now the new head coach of the Lakers. Was going to be a done deal, 6 years, $70 million. But then all of a sudden Dan Hurley comes out. I'm going to take some time. Nope, not coming.
Yeah.
So Lakers still have a head coach.
I feel like we knew that from the beginning, though.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really think he was going to really go, but
Dan Hurley.
everybody made it sound like he was a done deal again.
Dan Hurley's an awesome coach. He could not coach that team.
I don't know if anybody could coach that team. It's, I mean, it was.
Yeah, you could.
I think
LeBron coaches the team, but I'm saying like, UConn says their practices are like goddamn, field days out there. It's way harder than games. Yeah. Go get 38-year-old LeBron James to do that stuff.
It's a good point.
It'd be a nightmare.
Also, I mean, it's like when you are coaching at a program where you just won back-to-back titles and you're at the top of your specific league. It's like, why would you leave for a job where
double the money?
It's like double the money, but still, it's like, I mean, you might be there for a year and a half, 2 years. If you have 2 years where you're just like a bottom, like just a lower level playoff team, they're just going to fire you right away.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, staying at UConn definitely makes sense for the time being. I still wouldn't be surprised if he's
young enough. Like he'll jump
to the NBA eventually.
Yeah.
I just don't think he wanted this job, which is kind of wild to talk about a guy not wanting the Lakers job. But
is it though?
Yeah, even though
like,
they've been bad
they're like
recently,
the biggest brand in basketball, but it's like,
but that right there like just trumps pretty much everything.
But it's also a dumpster fire to go into right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's why
you don't know what LeBron's doing.
See, like he could come back into if they offer them the job in 2 years. I think he probably takes it because LeBron's probably gone.
Yeah, they got fresh faces.
Different teams,
yeah, probably.
But yeah. Tony said, "How's the Huskers volleyball team looking this year?" If you know what I mean. I do know what you mean. They're looking really good. I think they should be very good. National title contender again. They got some issues going on with player personnel, but yeah, I think they should be very, very good again. So thanks for shouting out the ladies there, Tony. So yeah, other Lakers news, sadder news. Jerry West passed away. The logo,
Rip.
Shout out. He's going into the Hall of Fame for a third time, which I think is like the only guy. So that's very interesting. He went in as a player, as a member of the 1960 Olympic team, and then now as a contributor to basketball, like his front office work and stuff like that.
See, I don't want to disregard Jerry West, but like, I might be wrong. Isn't like the NBA Hall of Fame a joke though?
Basketball Hall of Fame. I think it's the basketball Hall of Fame, but yeah, it's definitely much different. Yeah, because there's just way more guys because
it's like the opposite of
because they can get college guys in. I think there's like some high school coaches in that were just really very good high school coaches. Yeah, it's not nearly the same as like the NFL Hall of Fame is by far the hardest to get into. Oh yeah, MLB. No.
MLB. They just
I forget. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, like what do you have to get? How much of the vote do you have to get in? Isn't it some crazy number?
I want to say maybe upper like 85th percentile.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But also like every year it just feels like they just say no. It's like no, nobody on this ballot's worth it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then also,
but yeah, so MLB, NFL, and then basketball's way below though, because NFL is still pretty hard to get into.
Yeah,
there's some very good guys who didn't get in. I mean, actually, I just saw Brett Favre actually was just tweeting about it today. I think it's about how Sterling Sharp just still isn't in the NFL Hall of Fame. He had a shortened career, but I mean, he was like one of the best in the league for a while. Big part of those really good Packers team in the late 90s. He just can't get in. So
I don't know if I know how it fully works though. Is there like a ballot like MLB and like there's a certain like year limit you have?
Yeah, it's you have I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a certain amount of years you have to get in, and then after that there's another gap, but then you can get in again like later.
That's what
as like
I thought.
a legacy
I thought like guys like
then
would
sometimes
go in
they'll
30
get in
years later.
Yeah, sometimes they'll get in later because they're like whatever older, and then that's when it's a little bit easier to get in. I feel like because like they just waited so long, and they kind of get in as a legacy. But yeah, so where was I at there? Kind of got lost. But yeah, Jerry West, passed away. Sucks, but yeah, that's that. If you hadn't seen that, and then last piece of NBA news, if you haven't seen it yet, Terrence Shannon Jr., the Illinois superstar, has been found not guilty. So that's kind of some big news because now we don't really know if this was the main reason. I would assume it is, but Weezy, I think you were saying you looked up a bunch of mocks. He hasn't mocked at all.
Yeah, I looked up 12 mock drafts today. They didn't have him going in the first round in any of them, which especially for like a year where we know the talent is bad. Sorry, these comments.
Yeah, I know the comments are out of control.
But no, like we know that the talent in this draft is awful. It's like Terrence Shannon is not. There's not 30 players better than him in this draft. So I'm assuming now his stock will go up. Yeah,
I have to imagine that it was due to the fact that he might be in jail. So probably why teams weren't mocking him very high and probably wouldn't draft him. And you never know. Maybe sometimes when stuff like this happens, it still affects them even when they get proved not guilty. So I guess we'll see what happens. Weezy got a little question for you here. Chad has designated Cass as a proxy to ask what Weezy thinks he could shoot at the U.S. Open today. What are we thinking?
I was thinking that because I did watch it all day. I don't know. I'll just, I'll say I shot a 78 last weekend.
Little flex, not a big deal.
Big flex. What around? Assuming, we're playing those tips, I'm assuming, right? Like their tees.
I think, yeah, you assume that it's all the same conditions.
I would probably be happy breaking like 125.
Yeah.
Is that crazy to say?
I don't know. Those greens look so ridiculous.
Yeah, I think within like
idea.
50 yards, just Texas wedge. I'm just hammering putter.
Yeah, until it just rolls all the way off the green, and then
but they also
hard, and then rolls up and rolls back down to your feet.
Because they converted 2 of the par 5s to par 4s. It's like I would never play a 555-yard par 4. I would get in my car and leave. So,
yeah.
What do you think you'd shoot?
Very bad. I don't even want to try and put a number on it. Because there's days where I go play a Lincoln Public course and I can barely break 100. It seems like so. I don't even want to try and put a number on the U.S. Open. Howie, we will address this really quick. Do we need to be really worried about a Brazilian gang invading the stadium to line up the entire Packers roster to execute them one by one at midfield? I hope that the NFL has security on hand. I don't think that'll be an issue, but you know what? It would make for some crazy live sports television.
we got to bring this up though, because they said don't wear the color green, but they chose 2 teams of
who
3
both green. Yeah.
Both were green.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Or they the ones that like beheaded like a Brazilian soccer like ref or something?
I don't know, dude. That's a whole.
You can look it up by yourself.
A whole other rabbit hole that I don't want to
look
get
up
into.
Brazilian soccer ref. It's not pretty things that are gonna pop up.
Yeah. Jordan Schaefbauer asks, when are we going to start talking Summer Olympics? We'll maybe touch on them when they're actually happening. Other than that,
I always
probably
forget,
not.
like, what even are the big? We'll talk basketball for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk basketball.
But
probably.
USA is bringing the Avengers, so
yeah, they're bringing the Avengers. They're going to kill everybody.
It's not going to be much to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael Phelps is gone, so that's basically the only guy I ever cared about.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt's gone.
Like Katie Ledecky still racing.
Yeah, she holds like every world record ever. Yeah.
Thinking of actually though, like Olympics, could we bring up cricket?
That the U.S. beat Pakistan. Yeah. Shout out. It was like the biggest upset in like sports history, I think, wasn't it?
They said that, but then I looked and like supposedly they were like plus 900. So definitely not.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know.
But it's funny that it's like a part-time team came out and beat Pakistan.
Mick said, do you guys think the cop tasing the guy on the field at the Reds game was enough use of force? I was kind of surprised he tased him.
Was that the first time one of those people got tased?
I've never seen it before. Also, like he spotted him on his backflip. Why did you not just grab him when that was happening? That's the thing I don't get. The
freeze photo of it hitting his back and him might be the best picture of all time.
Could you imagine how good it would have looked if they would have tased him midair, mid backflip? I mean, guy might have broke his neck. That would have been unfortunate. But yeah, I mean that was. I think
that was the first time I've ever seen a taser being used on a streaker.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it either. Well, he wasn't even streaking.
That's
what
I'm saying about
running around
too.
the field.
You look at it on social media like, oh, streaker gets tased. We need to figure out a new word.
Yeah,
back in the day, they would actually streak on the field.
Yeah.
Now it's like just guys running on the field.
That's not that's not a streaker. Yeah. I don't know what to call it, but yeah. All right, moving into NFL news. Another jersey reveal here. This time we're talking the Vikings again. Pretty sick jersey here. They're calling them the Winter Warriors, all white with the purple lettering or numbers, whatever. And then this doesn't really have a great shot of the helmet. I guess I should have grabbed onto the helmet too, but the side of the helmet looks pretty cool as well with like the silver and white. So
I mean, yeah, they're hot.
Yeah,
like I think every all white jersey in the NFL sick.
Yeah, they always look good.
Yeah, you cannot mess those ones up like an all white uni.
Yep. But yeah, so those are cool. Moving on here. Trevor Lawrence is the next topic here. He got a 5-year, $275 million contract. $200 million of that is guaranteed. Again, that's kind of been a continuing theme this season, or this offseason, I guess, on this show specifically, has been the quarterback contracts. We talked about it a lot when Goff got his, and now T-Law gets his. Did you think he'd get this much?
No. I get locking him down, but I mean, at this moment,
he's tied for the highest paid quarterback in the NFL now.
At this moment, it's a ridiculous overpay.
Yeah.
But it's, it could obviously work out. We both agree that he's talented and people shit on him too much.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out, though. But no, he was definitely not deserving of that money at this moment.
Well, yeah, and now it's like, again, there's other guys that have extensions coming up. Jordan Love still has one. Tua potentially has one. and then Dak Prescott potentially has. How much does Jerry pay Dak Prescott? We talked about it with CD after Justin Jefferson got paid. What do you think he pays Dak Prescott? You think he beats it?
I think he actually might be hesitant.
Well, they were hesitant initially. That's why he initially got the franchise tag.
Yeah.
But
who knows?
Can,
I want to say it'll be lower, but I also didn't think, there was any way T-Law got that money. I don't know. Quarterbacks just get $1 billion, and that's just how it works.
Yeah. Tony, we're gonna give you like 4 bonks here for your comments in the chat so far. We appreciate you being active in the chat, but bonk, 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 bonk. A lot of horny comments out there from Tony. So shout out. We're not gonna put them on the screen, unfortunately. Moving on here, Falcons lose a draft pick because of tampering found with Kirk Cousins and some of their other free agents that they signed this year. I don't remember who else it was. You're welcome for the bonks, Tony. No problem. But I don't know. I feel like what was it, like a 5th round draft pick? Like who even cares at this point? Tampering's so stupid. Like they're gonna talk to guys. Every guy talks with other teams all season long. I mean, it's just a matter of who gets caught at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean, teams don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
I mean, it sucks to lose, a draft pick, but they don't care. They got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, let's roll Desmond Ridder out there again. But that 5th round draft pick that we have coming next year, he's gonna be the difference.
They're actually gonna send Kirk to Guantanamo Bay for a year.
Yeah. So no one cares. The tampering rules just suck in general. Yeah. I mean, NBA and NFL. Just
no penalty for texting a person.
Yeah, like seriously, let's chill a little bit on that. But yeah, that's kind of wraps up what we had for news so far. Next thing we're going to do is get into our AFC full season predictions along with this week's Rock Hard takes. But before we do that, we'll go to a quick commercial here. Once again, you're listening to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network here at Culture Ball Dogs, and we will be right back.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
All right, Weez, take it away here.
Yeah, you do earn bonks now. Whoever earns the most bonks by the end of the calendar year is the dog of the year. New rule.
All right. So new rule, whoever gets the most bonks is the winner. Once again, most of them probably will not go on the screen due to trying to keep this show like mediocrely family friendly. It's not very family friendly, but mediocrely. So we will shout out ones though that are, maybe like
PG-13 plus.
PG-13 plus, yeah. But some of them, some of Tony's were very, very extremely bonk worthy. So we're not gonna throw those ones up, unfortunately. Next thing we're gonna get into though is going to be our AFC 2024 and so again we did NFC back on the 3rd. So this time we're gonna do AFC. Get a little upgrade here. We're gonna do some graphics today. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Actually getting to see something on the screen. We'll get out of your face for a little bit. But we're gonna start in the AFC East. We'll go in alphabetical order. So first things first, we have the Buffalo Bills. We got our picks. Weezy's on the left. I'm on the right. So I had them going 11-6. I think the floor for the season for the Bills is a playoff berth. I still think their ceiling is winning the Super Bowl. It's definitely less than in past seasons, but I still think Josh Allen's good enough. I still think that there's other pieces on that roster that are good enough that they could win a Super Bowl. But again, I don't see them really being bad enough to miss the playoffs with a quarterback as good as Josh Allen. So
yeah, we agree, to an extent. I just don't think they have enough to come out of the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl personally. But I mean, we'll see.
Next one up, we have the Miami Dolphins. Again, pretty similar predictions on this one. Actually, we were exactly the same. I just realized that.
Yeah, you can just do all the talking for me.
All right. Well, yeah, 11-6, full ceiling AFC conference championship game appearance. Kind of where I differ on the Dolphins and the Bills. I think the Bills' floor is playoff berth just because Josh Allen's good enough, and I think their ceiling's Super Bowl champs because, again, Josh Allen's just that good. Dolphins is kind of the opposite. I think their floor is a playoff berth because their roster is just that good. Their weapons are that good that they'll win enough games, but their ceiling's an AFC conference championship game because Tua just isn't good enough, I don't think, to get that team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's their whole offense. Their offense is too good not to make the playoffs, I think.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, their defense obviously isn't great, but it's good enough for that offense to be elite.
Yeah. Next one up, the Patriots. Lots of despair here, I guess. Let's say that. I don't think there's much hope for them to be good this season. Again, I have their floor being here as the first overall pick. I think there's a pretty good chance they end up in that slot. And then their ceiling, last in the division. Like that's literally their ceiling, I think. The only one who could, the only way that they don't get last, I think, is if there's an injury to one of those other teams, specifically in the quarterback room. But otherwise, I don't really see a scenario where the Patriots can end up being third or higher in the division. And again, I have them at 3-14. So
yeah, my floor is they could genuinely not win a game in my opinion. Like it truly depends also on how good Drake May is. I think we've talked about him before. I don't think he's going to be very good, especially year one. So if he is as bad as I think he will be, they're going to have a tough time winning games.
Yeah. Cass comments, you guys think both of these teams for sure make the playoffs? If you're referring to Bills, Dolphins, yeah, I think they do.
Yeah. Unless Josh Allen gets like handicapped or something.
Yeah, again, obviously this whole exercise is assuming that teams stay generally healthy, specifically like quarterback, stuff like that. So if everybody in the AFC whatever stayed healthy this year's, I don't really see a scenario where the Bills and the Dolphins don't make the playoffs. So
yeah.
Howie said I'm going 1 Dolphins, 2 Jets, 3 Bills, 4 Pats. I don't quite see that. I think the Jets will be solid, but I think they are slightly overrated. I don't think their roster is that stellar, and we don't know how good Aaron Rodgers is going to be. I mean, he just blew out his Achilles.
He was not good with his the last year with the Packers. He was not good. He wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad,
but he was not Aaron Rodgers. Elite. He wasn't.
Yeah. And I don't think the Jets roster is good enough to make up for that
No.
if he's not elite Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers hater my ass. All right, Howie, let's get out of here. I'm definitely not an Aaron Rodgers hater. I love Aaron Rodgers. Gave a lot of good years to the Packers. Last thing, the AFC here, AFC East, I should say. The Jets, we do differ a little bit on this. Again, Weezy is, but again, floor missed the playoffs. I could see them, winning like 6 games, something like that. But ceiling, I could see them making the AFC Conference Championship game if everything kind of goes right for them. If Aaron Rodgers does return to that elite level that he used to be, then obviously, yeah, they could make a push that far. But I don't think it's likely, but I think that there is a world where that could happen.
Yeah, we're different on this one for sure. I don't buy it. I think Aaron Rodgers is distracted. He's old. I will say we do send notes back and forth before every episode. Carter asked me for my list. I didn't write floor miss playoffs. I wrote Aaron Rodgers other Achilles explodes on the first snap. So that's my floor for them. And then ceiling, yeah, I mean they could make the playoffs, maybe win a game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't quite fit the exploding Achilles onto the graphic, but yeah. How he said also that was ranking the cheerleaders on his rankings, so that one I can understand a little bit more. Dolphins down there in Miami, that makes sense. Jets, New York, and then Bills and Pats. A lot of sweaters on for those gals for a lot of the years. But maybe we'll do that for Rock Hard Takes one time. Right, rank the cheerleaders, see how that goes.
That's a bonk.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How he gets a bonk. Standings are now.
I'm bonking you too.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get one too.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right.
Cheerly.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So Tony leads with 4.
We all know Cowboys are 1, and then we can just move on with that list.
All right. Whatever. Let's see here. All right. Well, another bonk to Tony. He's up to 5 now. Leading the pack. Let's move on to the AFC North though. First things first, we got the Ravens. Universally seen as probably the best team in this division, and that's what both of us have. I have them going 11-6 again, 4 playoff berth and ceiling Super Bowl champs. We can add on whatever you want there. I mean, pretty similar predictions.
Yeah, same thing. I think as tough as that division is, I think it's definitely theirs for the taking.
Yeah,
you would agree on that, unless Joe Burrow comes out slinging it. But yeah, I think this is probably their best chance to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Speaking of Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they come in here next on the slide. They happen to be second alphabetically and second in the standings for both of us, I believe. Both have them going to 10-7. Both have them missed the playoffs to the floor. Both have them sealing Super Bowl champs. Again, a lot of this just
That's kind of
depends
what
on
it is. Yeah. Like, are they healthy enough?
Yeah, it's especially with Joe Burrow recently been struggling with some injuries. Definitely. I'm sorry. I think we should already just call the bonk thing. Tony's going to run away with it. It's not going to be a competition. Howie says real ranking this time: 1 Ravens, 2 Bengals, 3 Steelers, 4 Browns. Nice to know it's not the cheerleaders this time. Thanks for shouting that out.
Does Cleveland even have cheerleaders?
I don't know. Who knows? They're in the dog pound, dude. I don't know. We'll see. But all right, next up, speaking of the Browns, let's get to them. Again, very similar predictions here. I guess technically you haven't won in the game, but both have them at 8 and 9. Floor could be last in the division. My feeling is just playoff berth because I just don't really know what like Chubb's going to be like coming back off that gruesome knee injury.
A lot of
I
it
don't know
also
if
comes
Deshaun
down to, like,
Watson's
Mr. Massage Man.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's only a few years removed still from like a borderline MVP campaign. So let's okay. Howie, shout out yet a bonk. Dead last for cheerleaders in this division. God,
That we can agree with.
Yeah, that one we can agree with. I don't know, no more thoughts here for the Browns. Yeah, I don't know. I think we kind of covered the bases there. All right, last up, Steelers. Kind of an unpredictable team to a point. If Russell Wilson ends up being, halfway decent, getting somewhere close to where he was in Seattle, okay, maybe make a playoff berth. But again, floors last in division, both have them at 7 and 10. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add here?
Looking at this, damn near.
Oh, that's the schedule too with the Steelers. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
that thing's disgusting.
Yeah, and it also depends on who's going to be their quarterback week 5. Like who would you start right now?
I mean, I think they're going to start Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but like, is that the right move?
I don't know. I think it probably is still. But if he struggles, they're not going to hesitate very much at all to pull him and play Justin Fields. I mean, that's not a whole lot of faith being shown here in Russell Wilson. So yeah, let's see here. Sounds like you got to go to the dog pound to win dog of the year. Sorry they neutered you, Tone. All right. Hey, we did not neuter Tone. He's still here. We're just saying he might be running away with it. So if you guys want to have a chance, you're gonna have to really pull something out of your ass here to compete with them. But that's gonna do it for the AFC North. So again, there's our full predictions. Moving on, we're gonna get down to the AFC South. First up is the Texans, a team that a lot of people are riding high on coming into the season. We are as well. I'm going 11-6. Floor being playoff berth, ceiling being Super Bowl champs. A lot of with the Texans again just relies on, is Stroud going to be as good, if not better, than he was last year? If he is, I mean, there's a great chance the team wins the Super Bowl. They got Stephon Diggs now in that locker room as well. Another good weapon to add. A lot of people forget too, Will Anderson Jr. was super good for the Texans last year on defense too. So yeah, Texans are young, they're good, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with for a long time. Should be a fun team to watch this year.
Yeah, I mean, the talent's finally there. I mean, my only concern is CJ Stroud spending all off season in Japan with Micah Parsons, like talking a lot of shit on the internet. Like, let's maybe lock in, start, great year 1. I don't know. I could maybe see a sophomore slump for him.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. You never know. Coming in now is the Colts. Pretty close here with our predictions again. I guess I'm a little bit lower in general. I had them at 7 and 10. Floor missing the playoffs. Their ceiling is a playoff berth. If Anthony Richardson ends up being, just very good, then okay, I'm just gonna stop. We're gonna have to shut this one out. This was a good one here from Howie. Cheerleaders here. Number 1, Gia Duddy. 2 Texans, 3 Titans, 4 Jags, 5. Get behind the Gia Duddy at 1. That was, we actually talked about that on Rock Hard Ball a couple shows ago, didn't we?
Yeah,
we covered it. So
I think Titans might be a sneaky 2 in that category though.
Really?
Nashville.
Yeah,
I could see a little flip flop there.
For those of you who don't know, Tony let us know here. This is what's going on here with Howie putting Gia Duddy at 1. Getting to some actual football talk here though. Quick pause. Sam Johnson says Colts can make the AFC Championship game. You never know. If Anthony Richardson is really, really good, which he showed flashes last year, I just don't know, though. We didn't see enough, so I'm not going to put them too high. But yeah.
I mean, we got to just Sam Johnson's love for Anthony Richardson is weird. I don't quite get it. I don't see the correlation, but he might be his biggest fan actually.
Yeah.
So, but no, I agree. I have them higher than you do. they're a streaky team to me. Like they could easily go on runs.
Yeah. Cass says, any concern that Stephon Diggs ruins the culture in Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, there's definitely a very good chance that happens.
But he was in like a great situation, and they like just couldn't like win the last game that they needed to win.
Yeah,
And
so
he's
he
like, I'm
out of
getting
here.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I don't know. Definitely a very good chance he wins that. How he got to actual football here: Texans, Jags, Colts, Titans. Solid take there. Speaking of the Jags, let's get to them next. Let's see here. Third team, and they are a team that looks poised to have a potential chance to miss the playoffs. I have them going 10-7. Their floor is obviously missing the playoffs if Trevor Lawrence, struggles a little bit again. And just, little things here and there go wrong. They don't have a lot of weapons on offense either to help Trevor Lawrence. That doesn't help a ton. Obviously, Calvin Ridley left this offseason. But ceiling AFC Championship game, I think, appearance, if Trevor Lawrence is really good, again, we still think he's super talented. Their schedule is generally favorable. So I think that they could definitely have a little bit of a bounce back year and have a chance to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm just not going to put my money like on them until like last year. There was so much hype. I bought into the hype too. They weren't great, and I just don't think they did anything this offseason for me to justify saying like, oh well, they actually could go deep again. I'm not going to buy it. They could win a game or two though in the playoffs.
Yeah. Howie says Richardson could elevate the Colts. Whoops, wrong one. Okay, Richardson could elevate the Colts above the Jags. Don't think he can win the division though. Yeah, it's kind of exactly how I feel. I think the Texans are pretty much locked in to winning that division unless something really goes haywire. But yeah, it's my exact thought. I think that the Jags are better than the Colts, but Anthony Richardson could end up being really good and see what happens. Sam says underrated division this year. Love all the squads. I agree. I think that this division is not like bad by any means.
No.
Could surprise a lot of people.
I think Tennessee's like the biggest question. Like, are they going to be good?
Yeah.
Will Levis be good, or are they going to kind of just be the bottom feeder that the other three just beat up on?
Yeah. Speaking of Tennessee, let's get them up here. Again, similar predictions. Actually, pretty much exactly the same within a win. Item 6-11, bottom 5 team is the worst if Levis really struggles. And again, that roster just isn't super talented. But the ceiling could be a playoff berth if Will Levis ends up being really good. Obviously, quarterback plays a huge thing in the NFL. So I think they could make a run to the playoffs if a lot of things go right for them. So
I think it's just solely on Will Levis. Like he looked really good at times, and then at times he also didn't. We'll see if he matures. He's a big name now.
Yeah.
So
for interesting
they're
reasons.
saying he's got a cannon.
Yeah.
So we'll see the cannon on the field.
All right. Yeah. That's the AFC South. Next up, we have the AFC West, a very top heavy and bottom heavy division. First up is the Broncos, part of the bottom part of this division. I have them at 5-12. Their floor, I think there's definitely a world where this team ends up being the first overall slot. If all three of their quarterback threes end up not working out too hot, then they probably don't win hardly any games at all. Ceiling, they might get close to like 500 if one of those guys ends up playing decent. Their roster isn't awful. So, yeah.
I totally agree. I think their ceiling, I'm not even going to put a win. If Bo Nix looks good and like that's probably the guy for the future, it's a win of a season.
Karter and Weezy, you thought Levis looked good, huh?
I actually never saw a video. I'm just only speaking off of allegations. So
way to clarify there.
Yeah. Save face.
George Schaefbauer, what's up with the Dom Izzo hate in the chat here? His ass calling the Dakota Bowl games. Interesting take there from Schaefbauer. Tony says Mahomes is washed. Speaking of Mahomes, let's get to the Chiefs next. It's the Chiefs. Let's be real here. We both have a lot of wins. I'm at 14-3. Their floor, it's getting to the point now where it's like Brady and the Patriots. Like they're just gonna at least be in the AFC Championship game every year. It feels like at this point.
The worst thing that could happen is like an asteroid hits Earth and we all just die.
Yeah. So obviously their ceiling is the Super Bowl champs. Maybe they get the elusive 3 in a row. We'll see. Obviously, there's still a lot of good teams out there that are going to be in their path, but I mean, every year it just seems like it's like, oh, this is the year that the Chiefs are going to, come back to earth, and they're back with the pack now. They're not going to win it, and then the playoffs hit, and then Mahomes turns into the Lord and Savior, and the entire roster just guys who were just like bottom tier role players most of the season turn into just really good serviceable starters. They just know how to win in the playoffs.
It's different storylines every year too. It's like, oh, Tyreek Hill's gone. How will that affect things? Travis Kelce's getting older. And then this offseason, the whole team's just picking up felonies, speed running how many felonies that team can combine.
Yeah.
They're going to be great again. That's what happens.
Next up, the Raiders, again, shouldn't be good. Bottom 5 team for me is the floor, ceiling maybe close to 500. Again, they've got some nice pieces on defense, and they got Devontae Adams on that team still. But I mean, your quarterback's Aiden O'Connell. So
yeah, that's my floor. I had admit, like if Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell collectively are both hot garbage, it's gonna be a long year for Vegas.
Moving on to the Chargers, we have them rated about 5 and 8 for both of us, and exactly the same thing. Missed playoff berth. If Harbaugh meshes well with everybody, and Herbert continues to just play well, then yeah, obviously they could be a playoff team and be above 500. But at the same time, there's like no skill players on that team, so that could definitely be an issue as the season goes on.
No,
and if what
they have skill players,
who
skill players on their offensive line.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad.
Joe Alt's a skill player.
Joe Alt is their best skill player, yeah, because their wide receivers are terrible. Who's their running back now?
Their running back?
Yeah, are they just like rolling out like Josh Kelly or something, or I don't even know. They signed one this offseason?
I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell you, yeah, but
chat, help us out.
Yeah,
I don't know who the Chargers.
Yeah, chat, let us know if you know who the Chargers running back is this year, because we don't.
Might be him.
Yeah, we'll see. Gus Edwards. So yeah, stellar back there. I mean, hey, he was kind of a fantasy warrior a little bit last year. Yeah. And how is his Blake Corum? Is he actually on the Chargers?
He's a Ram.
Okay. All right, we got some just arguing about the buys in the chat right now. But anyways, rookie Kamani Vidal from Troy is apparently also a running back. So thanks, Sam. Yeah. You're a nerd for knowing that. But that wraps it up for our AFC predictions for the year. Obviously, again, I think the team, if you had to just pick one, Charger running back is not Sean Alexander. A little bit past those years. But obviously, money says it, and everybody else can say it. The easy pick is that the Chiefs are going to come out of the AFC. They should be the best team on paper. Obviously, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. So I think there's a very good chance that, they might make the Super Bowl again. I think, though, second favorite, I would probably go with Ravens. So,
yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, that's that.
Disagreements here.
Howie's shitting on Sam as well. Big time nerd. Sam, I hope you're doing okay out there, especially with your Broncos and your next coming of Drew Brees, Bo Nix, which is definitely just not going to happen. All right, moving on to our last segment of the night. Well, actually, second to last. We have a surprise last segment. But first, we have Rock Hard Takes. So tonight for Rock Hard Takes, we're going to be doing a sports team or sports movie draft. Go ahead.
We got to bring it back to, man, I just like fantasy. So Kamani Vidal from Troy is on your radar for fantasy this year. What are you waiting, like a 64 person keeper league?
Cass says, thanks, Sam, for shouting the college too. Who cares? Rough night for Sammy J in the chat. And yes, again, we're gonna put this one in the ground early, Sam. Not Drew Brees 2.0. Sorry. No, we're not touching the Big North Athletic Conference tonight. Sorry, Jordy. All right, so Rock Hard Takes. We're gonna do a all-time sports movie draft. We're gonna go 5 picks each. So it'll be whatever 10 total. We'll go alternating. Snake draft.
So let's just clarify this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wrote down a bunch of movies. Are we going like people view as like the greatest, or like what? Like I also.
No, I'm gonna pick what I.
Yeah, I'm gonna
what
like
I watch.
too. Yeah, there's some movies that are regarded as awesome that I think are kind of a snooze fest. So yeah, I left them off the list. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, like I think I've got a good mix of both. I've got some that are your classic just good movies that critics would probably call a good movie, and whatever, good message, whatever, stuff like that. And then I've got some just great comedy sports movies that I just really enjoy watching.
Okay, so. Yeah. And then I had first pick, first draft, so you will be getting first pick this time.
All right. So with the first overall pick in tonight's Rock Hard Takes draft of sports movies, I am going to go with Happy Gilmore, starring Adam Sandler. I don't care. I love Adam Sandler. I think Happy Gilmore is really funny, and it's just a really, really good movie. I really enjoy it. Again, it's what I like to watch, so I don't give a shit. I'm going to go with Happy Gilmore.
And I already
101.
just clean sweeped you because I get 2 picks here. Moneyball and Miracle. Game over. I win.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah, it's just as easy as like that,
Yeah, no, hey, good movies. I had Moneyball on my list for sure. Miracle is also a really good movie. I don't know. I mean, it's still obviously the overall premise of the movie is really good, and that's why it's still a good movie. But
Patriotic.
I'm just, yeah, I know, and that's why I still like it. But
Who do you play for?
I'm also just not a big hockey guy, so it's like I don't know. Miracle just hasn't ever resonated with me as much. But yeah, still a great movie. Respect the pick for sure. Next up, I'm gonna go with again more of one that's just a good movie. A lot of people probably viewed as the one. I'm gonna go with Remember the Titans as the 104. So yeah, I'm gonna go there next. Next up, kind of having a tough decision between some comedy ones or just some good old classics. I'm gonna go with The Sandlot. I'm gonna throw it in there. A little bit childhood nostalgia.
It was on the list.
I think The Sandlot's a really good movie. Obviously, as you get older, you probably don't watch it as much, but I think that's probably most kids' favorite sports movie when they're young. So throw Sandlot in there.
When they're liars.
When they're liars.
I don't. I was not the biggest Sandlot guy. I mean, it's a good movie. It's definitely, I think, the most overhyped sports movie maybe ever, but I'll respect it.
All right.
Bad pick though. So who'd you pick there? What two?
I picked Remember the Titans and The Sandlot.
Okay.
All right, so you get 6 and 7.
Yep. I'm gonna go to another patriotic movie. Ended the Cold War. I'm gonna go to Rocky 4.
Okay.
And then,
had that one on the list.
Yep. And then we are going to bounce back with Slingshot Engage, Ricky Bobby, and Talladega Nights.
All right, yeah, underrated one there. Probably not one that people think of when you think sports movies a lot, but once again, I did have it on the list. Thought maybe I could hold out on it because I thought maybe you wouldn't think to put it on there, but good pick. Respect it for sure. Next one I'm going to go with is once again, I really do. I love Adam Sandler. I'm going to go with The Waterboy. I think it's a great movie. I don't know, not really a whole lot else to say about it. You remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime? They won the Bourbon Bowl.
I do.
All time. So yeah, I'm going to go Waterboy at the, what is that, 108?
Yeah.
So then I got one more here before we go. Again, really tough here. Some comedy that I really want to throw in there. I don't know. I've already got like 2 Adam Sandler movies. I should probably go with like more of like just a real, just good movie. I'll wrap it up with my last pick. I'm going to go with Coach Carter. I haven't gone with the basketball one yet. So very good movie, obviously. Again, probably one that the critics like more. So yeah, I'm going to throw Coach Carter in there as my last one. All right. You get the last pick of the draft, Weez.
Yeah, I'm just going to clean up with Major League.
All right. Fair enough. Little comedy action there to wrap things up. All right. Well, that's 110. You want to give any insight onto why you went with it or no?
I like the movie.
All right. Wow.
That's a good one.
Really
you want to throw
thoughtful.
out some honorable mentions that you were going to go with?
Yeah. So honorable mentions. I got Caddyshack. I think this is a good movie. Again, big comedy fan.
I could tell.
Yeah. I had Varsity Blues on there.
Yeah,
Good one. Longest Yard. Once again, Adam Sandler making an appearance on my list. The Benchwarmers. That always gets some good laughs out of me. I think that one's really good. But yeah, it's probably about I think all I had for my honorable mentions that I was going to get to. Obviously, I didn't expand the list too far just because once I had at least 10 on there, then I knew what I could get. So
yeah, I'm just thinking in my head some that could have made the cut.
Mm-hmm.
I think Semi Pro could have.
Yep, for sure.
Great film. Movie that's probably not that good, but I loved it as a kid. Little Big League, just because I thought when I was 12 I could probably manage an MLB team. It couldn't be that hard. So throw that one in there. Let's see. Did I have any others? Did we mention Hoosiers?
Oh no,
Hoosiers is a great movie. And then that might be everything I had on my list.
All right, let's throw out some of the comments picks. Tony riding with you, Weez. He's got Miracle at 1 through 5. So
yeah, it's the right call.
Yeah, really big fan of that one. Moving on, we got Thanos Heisenberg. He said The Sandlot, Basketball, Happy Gilmore, The Replacements, and The Waterboy in no order. So nice to see we got another big Adam Sandler fan out there. Shout out Thanos.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie The Replacements. Have you?
I think I've seen part of it. I don't think I've ever seen the full movie. But I think I've seen part of it. Howie said Air Bud. He also asked if we literally hate dogs. I'm gonna guess that was also maybe
Which then, speaking back to this, because now we got to pull this up.
what's that?
Call me is that not the?
It's the governor of South Dakota.
Yeah, was she not the one who fucking killed her dog?
I don't know. Did she?
Google it. Google it right now because we're talking about we don't love dogs. Chrissy Nome hates dogs. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure she wrote like a whole book about how she killed her like 6-month-old puppy because it fucking didn't behave, which is crazy.
Yeah, it says she shot and killed her dog for being bad at pheasant hunting and good at chicken hunting. Okay. I did not know that. So that's an interesting little fun fact. So I'm so
So
now,
no,
now
I will not take that comment.
No, now that I know
I'm a
that,
dog
I
lover.
100% agree. You are Christy Nome.
Really?
Yeah. Now that I'm aware of that fact, you are Christy Nome. Weezy is known dog. I don't think Shutter Island is a sports movie, Tony. But
We'll throw it up there though. Great movie.
yeah, it is a good movie. Howie said Coach Carter is A1, so shout out. That means I made a good pick. Shea Power said No Country for Old Men. I don't even know what that is. What movie is that?
It's not a sports movie. It's with the psychopath. I forget the guy's name. You've seen it. Weird haircut.
I don't know. Maybe I have seen it, but I don't remember it. But
It's a good movie. You've definitely seen clips of
oh
it.
Jesus. Okay, so Howie, who called out Christy Nome earlier, now says I would have beat the clown from Airport with a hammer. I'll tell you that for free. Are you talking about the human or the dog? Because that's concerning. All right. Let's see. I don't know what Cass is talking about here. I don't know. Sam says Jurassic Park once again. Not a sports movie, but good movie. Howie as a sup nerd. Let's see. Okay, I gotta get through here. Thanos forgot about Airbud. Once again, good movie. And yeah, so as we wrap this show here, we got just Sam and Howie and the guys going at it in the chat. So nice to see some hostility from the chat tonight for Rock Hard Ball. Nice to see that the fellas are rock hard and not giving up their territory.
Yeah.
Always good to see. But yeah, that's probably gonna about do it for tonight's episode. I don't know. We really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode tonight. Glad to see we could get a bomb counter going. That'll be good to keep track of here.
Well, I'm pretty sure that
As we
already.
Yeah, it's probably pretty cooked early on here. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you follow on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, whatever. Follow us everywhere so that we can know. Carter wasn't allowed to watch No Country for Old Men, top 3 only. So that's really unfortunate. I'm not going to get into the top 3 stuff tonight because that's just going to make me sad. Hashtag childhood trauma. But yeah, make sure you follow our socials. We actually can't stream on Facebook right now because we don't have 100 followers on the page yet. So if you have Facebook, go follow the page so we can keep streaming on Facebook. That would be much appreciated. But with that, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll post a poll probably so you can vote on who had the better draft for tonight's Rock Hard Takes. And as we get out of here, Sam, watch out because they said they're going to find you. All right, that's going to do it here tonight. Karter and Weezy, we will see you on Monday for episode 7.